Items for all of you. Today, the Biden-Harris administration is launching a nationwide grassroots network of local voices and trusted community leaders to encourage people to get vaccinated. We've talked in here quite a bit about how effective and impactful we've seen having community voices, trusted voices, be the people who are getting the information out to communities. So this is a reflection of that. Some of the 250 founding members include NASCAR, the American Medical Association, NAACP, UNIDOS, the Chamber of Commerce, and Catholic Charities. Collectively, the group of founding members has the ability to reach millions of people and deliver critical public health information. This morning, the Vice President and Surgeon General Vivek Murthy spoke with some of the community core founding members about the unique efforts that communities across the country are taking to get more shots in arms, including by hosting virtual town halls, giving workers paid time. Two more short items. President Biden, as a part of the American Rescue Plan, we have another development to convey. He promised, of course, to get health care costs down for families through a number of steps he's taking. And beginning today, Americans can go to healthcare.gov to take advantage of reduced premiums, increased savings, and quality, affordable coverage. Americans currently enrolled in Marketplace coverage will see their premiums decrease on average by $50 per person per month and $85 per policy per month. So that certainly is a positive development. Last thing, finally, as part of our commitment to transparency, I wanted to let you know that the President was tested for COVID-19 this week. COVID-19 was not detected. He's tested every 2 weeks as a part of regular screening. Darlene, why don't you kick it off?
Thank you, Jen. A couple of questions on the infrastructure bill. Can you give us a sense, now that the President has announced the details, what comes next from the White House in terms of travel by the President or the Vice President or any other members of the Cabinet in terms of selling the plan? And will we see something similar to Help Is Here for the COVID bill?
Well, I think you can certainly expect that the President, the Vice President, will be involved in making calls, doing outreach, communicating with members of Congress, with governors, with elected officials, and of course with the American people. I will say the piece that's slightly different, or in addition to, is what the President announced at the Cabinet meeting, which is that he has asked some key members of his Cabinet to serve in a jobs cabinet, to be front and center voices engaging with members of Congress, with leadership in Congress, with governors, with elected officials, with the American public through media and through other direct communications, also traveling around the country to communicate about this plan that he's proposed. So that's another piece of it that you will see grow over the coming weeks.
And former President Donald Trump says that the tax increases that are in the corporate tax increases that are in the plan will shift more companies and jobs overseas, and that China will be the big winner there. It also depends on getting countries to stop a race to the bottom on corporate taxes, and we're just wondering, how do you get those other countries to go along with that idea of, not racing to the bottom on corporate taxes?
Well, we have a little chart maybe we can pull up on the screen here. Hopefully. We'll cue it to come up just to show. Was it up before? Well, we'll bring it up again because it's a relevant one for people to take a look at. That just shows the journey of corporate tax rates over the course of the last several decades. The fact is the corporate tax rate at 21% is lower than it has ever been in the past. What we're talking about is raising it to 28%, which is lower than it's been in the past several decades for most of that period of time. And it goes back to a rate that was the case during part of the Bush administration. See, as you can see here. Now, during the 60s, it was up over 50%. Obviously, that's incredibly high. And it's gone down progressively. And it was in the mid-30s, as you can see, through about 2015 or right before then. And then it went dramatically down. What we're talking about is just raising it to a rate that is lower than it has been through the vast majority of time over the last 70 years. And we think that's an incredibly reasonable proposal. I will say that in the wake of the 2017 tax bill, tax giveaway to corporate America, I should say. 91 of the Fortune 500 companies paid no federal taxes. No, zero federal taxes. That is not something that the American people believe is fair, that we believe is fair. And what we're talking about here is making.
Was talking and said that the package, quote, is not going to get support from our side. He opposes the undoing of the 2017 tax cuts and said that, quote, I'm going to fight them every step of the way. So how do you respond?
Our nation's infrastructure is outdated and needs repair? Does he disagree that we need to do more to put American workers back to work and to invest in industries that have...
We understand that there is a contamination of about 15 million doses. When did this happen, and when did...
Well, the issue was identified the control system checks, and HHS made us aware late last week.
Last week. And so we understand that this supply is headed to Europe and not for the United States. But how does that really overall sort of change J&J's